Hey everybody, Aaron Dillon here, Managing Director of AG Dillon & Co. Here is July 19, 2024's pre-IPO stock update. Sequoia Capital, a premier Silicon Valley venture capital firm, is offering investors a chance to sell up to $861 million in Stripe shares. It's the online payments company at $27.51 per share. That's a $70 billion valuation. Limited partners from 2009 to 2012 funds, Sequoia funds, representing 10% of Sequoia's Stripe holdings, have until August 14 to decide. This offer is part of Sequoia's strategy following its 2021 restructuring, which allows newer funds to purchase shares from older funds. Stripe processed over $1 trillion in payments in 2023. That's a 25% increase from the previous year. Sequoia distributed around $10 billion to the investors in 2023. Sequoia remains optimistic about Stripe's durability and future growth potential. I believe this is a very smart move by Sequoia. Their LPs get distributions, which are realized returns. And even though Stripe's not going public, right, this is also a sign that Stripe is probably not going public anytime soon, right? So pre-IPO stocks are truly staying private for longer. The private stock market has plenty of capital for these late-stage venture-backed, VC-backed businesses, and they can raise billions of dollars in just a short few months. And we've seen that multiple times over the last 2 years, if needed. And their existing shareholders can get liquidity in the private secondary market with ease as well. So I'll say it again. I believe that we got two stock markets in the US, a private stock market for accredited investors only, and a public stock market. All the new growth companies, which is like the lifeblood of the US stock investing, in my opinion, is not happening in the public markets. It's happening in the private stock market. So it's best to start making some allocation to pre-IPO stock asset class. Revolut, the UK online bank, is in discussions with Tiger Global Management to lead the company's $40 billion secondary sale, up from $33 billion in 2021. This sale involves employees and other existing shareholders selling existing shares. Morgan Stanley is banking the transaction. Revolut's revenue nearly doubled in 2023 to $2.2 billion, resulting in a pre-tax profit of $574 million compared to a $33 million loss in 2022. That's a big turnaround. This valuation would surpass rivals Standard Chartered and NatWest Group. Big company. Revolut's UK chief Francesca Carlesi highlights improved financial reporting and strengthened fraud controls as achievements, aiding their pursuit of a UK banking license. Revolut has a $25 billion secondary market valuation. So if this tender does close at $40 billion, that's a reasonable 18.1x revenue multiple, in my opinion. There will be some very happy secondary market investors out there with like an overnight 60% return. Anthropic is partnering with Menlo Ventures to launch a $100 million anthology fund for AI startups using Claude chatbot to recommend deals. Menlo Ventures is an investor in Anthropic, will provide all capital starting with $100,000 investments for early stage companies. The fund targets companies using Claude AI models, offering $25,000 in credits and networking opportunities without taking equity. This move mirrors the OpenAI startup fund's $175 million investment strategy. AI funding topped $24 billion in Q2, doubling from Q1, reflecting the sector's rapid growth. Anthropic has a $22 billion secondary market valuation. That's up 20% from its January 2024 round. Human Interest, a 401k focused fintech, raised $267 million in debt and equity, reaching a $1.33 billion valuation. The round was led by Marshall Weiss and Bailey Gifford. Founded in 2015, the company now serves over 25,000 small businesses, averaging 35 employees each, and surpassed $100 million in annual recurring revenue with a projected 70% sales growth in 2024. Those are awesome results. CEO Jeff Schneibel highlighted that customers can sign up for a 401k in under 3 minutes and is preparing the company for an IPO within 2 years. That is incredible. The latest funding includes $242 million in equity and $25 million in debt, aimed at commercial partnerships and increasing cash reserves. Tekion, an automotive technology business, locked in a valuation of $4 billion after securing a $200 million investment from Dragoneer Investment Group. Founded in 2016 by former Tesla CIO Jay Vijanyan, I probably pronounced his name wrong, so apologies for that. Tekion has raised a total of $441 million from investors, including Index Ventures, BMW Ventures, and Advent International. The company, with annual revenues of over $100 million, serves major dealerships like Ashbury Automotive Group and Longo, Toyota, and Lexus. Despite not yet being profitable, Tekion aims to break even by next year and is eyeing an IPO within 2 to 3 years. The recent funding will enhance product offerings and customer support. Starlink, SpaceX's satellite internet business, has been granted a license to operate in South Sudan, as confirmed by Bank of South Sudan Governor James Alec Garang. South Sudan is in Africa, for all my geography buffs out there. SpaceX is actively seeking an official distributor to sell Starlink terminals in the country. South Sudan, plagued by conflict since 2011 cession from Sudan, has only 3.9 million mobile connections. That's just 36% of its citizens with access to the internet. Starlink will significantly improve internet connectivity in the country, which is struggling with limited infrastructure and increasing pressures from ongoing conflicts and refugee influxes from neighboring Sudan. SpaceX has a $210 billion valuation based on its current tender offer in process. OpenAI, the AI large language model business, has released GPT-4o Mini, a smaller and 60% cheaper version of its AI model, aiming to enhance its business viability. This model, replacing GPT 3.5 Turbo, is more efficient and scores higher on intelligence and effectiveness tests. Initially capable of interpreting text and images, it will later include audio and video functionalities. The rollout targets free and premium ChatGPT users, with availability for corporate customers next week. The buzz is businesses like these less powerful AI models, as they can get the job done, but at a much lower expense. So I believe that businesses will be heavy adopters of AI large language model in the years ahead, and will ultimately dramatically reduce headcount. So these less expensive models make the return on investment even better for businesses. So it's going to accelerate this move to AI. So keep your eye out for big earning pops and M&A activity from AI early adopters, gobbling up competitors that did not adopt. So big pops if you enter earnings pops if you implement AI, and then you're going to have better earnings, so you'll be able to buy your competitors that did not get on the train. So okay, OpenAI has a $106 billion secondary market valuation. That's up 23% versus its April of 2024 round. All right, let's look at pre-IPO stock performance as of July 15, 2024. Up this week, Revolut up 8%, Chime up 5.5%, Deals up 4.4%, Ramps up 3.4%, SpaceX is up 3.2%. Down this week, Cohere is down 11.2%, Epic Games down 3.2%, Anduril down 2.8%, Neuralink down 2.4%, and eToro down 2.3%. Top valuations, you got ByteDance at $290 billion, SpaceX at $205 billion, OpenAI at $106 billion, Stripe at $70 billion, and Databricks at $44 billion. So for more current valuation, revenue multiples, and performance data, go to agdillon.com/reports. Okay, let's look at index performance for the AG Dillon Pre-IPO Stock Vintage Indexes as of July 15, 2024. The 2024 Vintage Index top contributors since inception, that's the beginning of the year. Rippling's up 107%, Revolut's up 68%, Anduril's up 51%, Klarna's up 46%, Epic Games up 32%. There are no detractors in the 2024 Vintage Index. We haven't pulled through the gains for SpaceX or Revolut yet, so those numbers are going to be up even more. Key metric averages for all vintage indexes 5 years old or older, 445% cumulative return since inception. 61% of that's realized or has been distributed to investors. So for the hardcore VC metrics, that's 5.45 TVPI, 3.31 DPI, and 2.14 RVPI, and 4.1 years, quote unquote, return the fund. To see summary and annual vintage specific data and fact sheets for the AG Dillon Pre-IPO Stock Vintage Indexes, please visit agdillon.com/index. Okay, that's it for me this week. If you have any pre-IPO stock research needs, please reach out. Thanks, and see you all next week.